Welcome to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, dedicated to exploring the interesting journeys of the people in the provincial construction industry. Presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds. Join us as we chat with the inspirational individuals that ensure the continued growth of the construction industry and the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
And welcome to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast. It is certainly exciting to be here at Build Expo 2023. Chatting with people that are here on the trade show floor is always fun, but we've got a couple of folks here that I want to really get into their journey because they're new to the NLCA. So Tonya, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
So hi, my name is Tonya Knopp. I am the Manager of Facility Engineering with the City of St. John's. I have been with the city for 5 years now. Prior to that, I worked in both the public and private sector for about 15 years. So I'm happy to be back with the municipality. That's where I love to be, and I feel like I can contribute greatly to the community. And as it relates to NLCA, I am a new board member and a director at large position, and I'm really excited because I believe I am the first municipal representative that they've ever had on the NLCA board. So I'm looking forward to the education piece and about how municipalities work, what we can bring to the industry and support the workers and tradespeoples. Yeah, so I'm just really excited about the path forward and the next year and education and those types of initiatives.
I can't wait to dive into that with you. So David, how about yourself? Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm David Campbell. I'm business development with Atlantic Business Interiors. So we focus on commercial interiors, basically anything that goes inside the building. That's us. So we're chairs, desks, lounge seating, architectural walls, that kind of stuff.
David, you didn't start there. What was your journey to get there?
To get there, it was a much different path. I spent the last 10 years in financial services industry. So I was a wholesaler for Manulife Bank. I was also with a few other financial services companies, and most recently I have board experience with Advocates, the Financial Advisors Association of Canada. So.
Right. Am I sensing a Trepassey accent? Where are you from, David?
I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I could tell that wasn't a Trepassey accent coming out there. David, it's great to have you in Newfoundland. Isn't it fascinating that you both have such different backgrounds, right? And you're both here on the board at NLCA, brand new on the board, right?
Yeah, we were actually, I believe what was mentioned at the AGM is that we were part of the first in their history three-way tie.
Three-way tie.
Okay.
So there was two positions, but because the race was so close, they took all three of us.
Oh, wow.
It was Tonya and myself, and then another member, Gail Ryan. She's with RBC. So the three of us got on because it was the vote was 33.8 for one, and then the other two were 33.1. Competitive side of me wanted to know if I was the 33.8 or the 33.1.
I wanted to know if I was the 0.8 too as well. That's the engineer in me.
But that's never found that out. But that's all right. We're here, and that's what's important.
David, I'm going to stay with you for one moment here. What was your journey to Newfoundland from Saskatchewan?
My wife was she came to the University of Regina on a soccer scholarship.
Okay.
So we met at university. And then after university was done, she was having a little difficulty finding work out west. She didn't want to move further west, so she wanted to move closer to home, but not all the way home. So we moved from Regina to Halifax for 4 years, and then when we were expecting our first child, we moved back home to Newfoundland.
That's it. We're coming home.
That's it, pretty much.
We're lucky to have you, man. Tonya, you mentioned you're an engineer. Where did you go to engineering school?
So I have an interesting educational background.
Okay.
I have a degree in kinesiology from Memorial University. I originally wanted to be a doctor. Applied, didn't get in my first try, so I actually went to Dow to do a master's in biomedical engineering. I got a year into that program and I was like, I can't foresee myself working in this industry in the long term. So I transferred out into the undergrad of engineering program at Dow. So I managed to do that in 2 years. From there, I went on to do a master's in construction management, and I'm still in school, and I'm finishing up my PhD.
Oh, wow. Did you know that?
I did not.
See? You see what we find out on the podcast? That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So you are clearly a believer in lifelong learning.
I am a huge believer in lifelong learning, and it doesn't matter your age. I'm 46, and I'm still always going to be looking to educate myself, better myself, and part of that lends to me being able to do better in my job and providing better service.
Yeah, the city, it must be really lucky to have you on the team.
I hope so.
That's fantastic. Now, you talked about initially about education and bringing that into the conversation with the construction industry and through the association. Tell me what your vision for that is.
Yeah, so my role at the city specifically deals with new building construction and major renovation projects. So there's definitely a synergy there between what I do professionally at the city and with what NLCA stands for as an organization. I think the city can often be misunderstood. So I'm hoping that being a municipal representative, sitting on the board, that I'm able to bring that educational piece. We're often criticized greatly in the media realm, and I think there's a lot that I can foster from an education piece and make people more aware why the decisions we make, how decisions are made. From a procurement perspective in particular, we get a lot of criticism on that side of things, so I'm looking forward to being able to share my knowledge personally as a city staff member and being able to serve the members of the NLCA better by providing educational opportunities on that front.
Yeah, that's a valuable service, right? Because many people will be looking at the city or the government or whatever, not quite understanding the nuances of the conversations happening in the background. So it's good to have somebody on the team that can help unravel that and maybe even help people with a pathway through all of that kind of bureaucratic things. And they're there for a reason, because cities, governments, and the like are spending our money, so they have to have good structures around it all. But for the person looking in, they're saying, "Oh, this is too clunky. I can't get my way through. It's broken." Right?
Exactly.
It's great to have you on the team. What are you hoping to bring to the association with that interesting background and that prairie outlook on life?
Well, I guess one of the things that when I started this journey with the NLCA was just a chance meeting with Rhonda Neary, and she recognized something in me in the moment, and she encouraged me to run in the election, and thankfully for me, I was able to get elected. But I guess one of the things that really interests me is the advocacy piece. So working with government officials, and whether that's finding different ways to reduce red tape, or find ways that we can better engage with our government officials so that they have a better understanding of what it is we're trying to do and how we're trying to help better the province. That's sort of where I see myself fitting in.
A very collaborative group we have here in Newfoundland. We often use the expression here, we used it already this morning with the Premier, that a rising tide floats all boats, and you can feel that in this association. People do understand that we are stronger when we are working together. You'd be no stranger to that coming from Saskatchewan, because when somebody needs help on the farm in Saskatchewan, they call their neighbor, and the neighbor drops what they're doing and they come over. Am I right?
That's right.
I'm exactly right. It's the same way here. You'll drop your tools and you'll come help your neighbor. And that is the beauty of this association, is is that everybody does understand that we are much stronger together and we can help one another out. It must be really cool to be 1 week into your mandate and know that you're involved in such a well-oiled machine, and yet you have so much to bring to the table. How does it make you feel, David, to be a part of it?
Well, to be honest, one of the reasons why I eventually did decide to say yes that I would run in the election was the fact that it was an operation that runs so well and seemed to be something that runs so collaboratively well together. My first real exposure to the NLCA was at the October conference that they had in 2022, and I was really impressed with everything that I saw at that point, and it really kind of helped my journey into this organization. So I'm really excited at the prospect of working with all of the different members of the NLCA board, I should say, and hopefully that we're able to help move the needle on a few projects, and I get to continue beyond just one term.
Fantastic. And what excites you the most?
I think the education piece, and also being a female working in a male-dominated industry, having spent 21 years kind of making my path in this industry as a woman in construction, and looking forward to moving the needle on that narrative and embracing that women have a place in this industry. And I really have to commend Rhonda Neary and the organization as a whole for really embracing that and taking that on as something that they want to improve upon here locally. And as it was mentioned in our inaugural meeting last week, like we are spearheading that piece across the nation. When we look at other construction association boards across the country, we are a leader as it comes to promoting women in the workplace, whether it be in engineering, trades, whatever. There's great opportunity there for us.
Tonya, I would argue that you're not making a path, you're cutting a path for many others to come behind you. Congratulations on that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, well listen, both of you, it's just been wonderful to be in conversation with you. I think that the NLCA was wise to bring you on the team. It's obvious that you have a tremendous amount to offer. We certainly are happy to have you here in Newfoundland. Stick around as long as you want. Saskatchewan's going nowhere. You can always go back there, but give us much of your time. We really appreciate it. Tonya, it's clear that you're adding a great amount of value to the city and to the construction industry largely. We certainly appreciate that. Your passion for education really comes through, and I think that will permeate into the association and the industry largely. Thank you both for being in on Gale Force Winds. An absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for tuning in to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds.